And we should be back on.
Are you ready for the worst stretch goals ever?
Oh, these stretch goals are fantastic. We came up with something that I think all of our fans are really going to be happy with.
That's what I mean. Like, I mean, they're fantastic for the fans, not quite so much for us.
We're giving you the Geek Critique stream as you imagined it. As you imagined it. As you imagined it.
Don't worry, guys. I'll let him go on like that for another 5 minutes until it stops being funny. Then we'll get right back into it.
Alright, we are back on, right? Hey, this isn't Sonic 1. Yeah, I know. Sonic 1 Megamix isn't in Twitch's, like, list, and it has to be in Twitch's list. So, that's what I gotta do. I'll just keep calling it Sonic 1. It's a hack of Sonic 1. It's okay.
What are you, Twitch? Stupid.
And we are back now. We've already I have already played Sonic the Hedgehog 1, and now because of, like, generous donations during Sonic 1, I got to play more games. Geek Critique as you imagine
Fun
it,
fact,
featuring Dante.
did you know, and I learned this from working for Did You Know Gaming, right? Did you know that Sonic 1 is the first Sonic game?
What? What?
It's true. Blew my mind.
You... Man, you're such a hack. You just got that off the cutting room floor.
It's true. That's all we do, we just use Wikipedia.
And this is Sonic the Hedgehog Megamix, and I think the, is the audio balancing on this right? I assume it's probably pretty good.
Okay, can I just stress the $100 stretch goal? Josh will be singing the Knuckles rap. I will be beatboxing.
Yes, Shay will be beatboxing for me during that. When I say the Knuckles rap, I'll probably do both Unknown From Me and the Pumpkin Hill theme at the very least.
Nice. Those are the definitive choices.
And speaking of definitive choices, let's go ahead and get definitive dubs on the call as well.
Okay.
He's been patient. If I can find him. Definitive dubs, can you message me on Skype so I can find you? What version of Megamix is this? This is the 2011 version, the one that's incomplete. Well, I mean, they're all kind of incomplete to some degree, but this is 2011. And definitive dubs should be coming in now.
Hello.
And I see like other people asking to get on. I don't really want to have more than 3 people on a call as a rule. So
yeah, I remember like
perhaps
after
this game, I will kick Ben to the curb and invite somebody else on instead.
Hey guys!
Hi Ben! We were just talking about you.
Yeah, that's great. So as I was saying earlier,
yes.
Hopefully one day I will make a Sonic-related video that one day Josh will watch and say, that was a good video. That is my dream.
Well,
you're aiming high, but I like it. I like the ambition.
Well, luckily for you, Shay is on the call right now, and I've already said that about him, so, you know, one way to achieve success is to find somebody else who has already accomplished what you want, and see what their state of mind was and how they went about it. So right. Perhaps you could seek some advice from him.
Here's the top tip. Here's how you do it, right? Josh, can you say the sentence, Shay, that was a good video?
Shay, that was a good video.
How?
That's
how did you do that?
That's how, like, you know, that's how we do. Yeah, no, man, I'd be interested to see that. I like watching Sonic videos, although don't tell anyone.
By the way, I love how you just glitched through the wall there. Picking the 2011 version was definitely the superior choice.
Yeah, I don't actually remember if this version is even completable, to be honest with you.
I think it is, but you have to, like, do some out-of-your-way stuff.
I think they didn't finish... Like, it's kind of like the post-game labyrinth zone, if I remember rightly.
We'll see.
Like that.
I mean, I would be willing to switch to the 2008 version, which I know for a fact is completable, if I run into anything. But I think this is nice just because I'm not quite as familiar with it. Because like
Shay Sonic songs.
Yeah, we did that because Shay wanted me to like make note of the fact that it would be Sonic R. Shay, you do it. You do it better
Sonic
than me.
R.
There you go.
Robotnik.
Robotnik.
Promotion.
No, that's $300 stretch goal.
Just to hear you say promotion. I can't even roll up.
There you go. Yeah, but it's not listed yet because there's not room. But the $300 stretch goal, Shay will say promotion.
I'll give you a sneak preview just now.
What's that?
I'll have to give myself a.
You tease.
So you can't do it. That's a preview of what you will get. We gotta put we gotta put this thing on Kickstarter.
Your mic's fine, yeah.
Okay, good.
I'm gonna turn down the game audio a little bit because you guys are a little bit hard to hear from me. Also, the chat is not updating on my end. The last thing I've seen is Classic Sonic saying, "Is this version the one with the Labyrinth Act 4?"
Yeah, no,
that's
that's the latest one.
Yeah, that's. I never. No, yeah, that's the latest. That's the latest one.
Okay, maybe people just don't know we're back from break yet or something.
Yeah, nobody said anything.
But I assume everything's working out alright.
I killed the chat.
You did.
It's yeah, Classic Sonic. I'm sure that's right. I'm sure this is the one that you get like unlock like a post-game labyrinth zone, and it's not quite complete yet. I could be wrong.
Well, we'll see when we get there. But this is, if anybody doesn't know, this is Sonic 1 Megamix. This is a ROM hack of Sonic 1, created by Team Megamix, which was a bevy of individuals, including Stealth, who is now working along with Taxman on Sonic Mania, the officially released classic Sonic game coming out next year.
And he halted production on Sonic 1 Megamix because of that. Because he was the only one. He was the only one working on it, apparently.
Well, there was some controversy over that, I remember, but I'm not comfortable saying one way or the other.
Sega actually supports ROM hacks because they allow you to share them via the Steam Workshop, which is cool.
Oh yeah, the like the modding community and everything for Sonic. Well, what I recently realized was the problem. It's remakes. That's why they shut down the Streets of Rage remake, because that would put it in competition with the original Streets of Rage.
Oh, by the way,
and it's the same with
Puto ML does point out that he's donated another $5, so I need to update that. Thank you very much. That sort of came between games.
Puto, you've got money to burn, don't you?
It's 400 for me to say round and round the ragged rock the ragged rascal ran. Damn it.
Oh, crap.
I've just lost you.
Just giving it away! That's what you gotta do to get famous on the internet, to be fair. Just give away free content. No way around it.
What you got to do is just have a meme accent.
Guys, how do I Sonic?
Well, firstly, what you got to do is you got to say, "Hey Josh, how do you Sonic?"
Am I the starting point for everything here?
It's your stream. You have to put in the brunt of the effort.
God, I haven't played this in a long time, and like, just the creativity of these bosses is just fantastic.
I don't remember this boss fight at all.
I think this one was only in the 2011 build.
I played the 2011 build. I don't think this was in there. I don't know.
This seems really interesting, though. I like this boss.
Yeah, like you have to spin dash into the wrecking
I hope
ball.
that's what Sonic Mania does, where it teases you into thinking it's going to be the classic Sonic 1 boss, but then it goes into a totally different one.
Well, if that is what it does, then it's just ripping off Sonic 4 Episode 2, which we all know is the greatest game of the past 10 years.
I remember when you streamed that game, it was so boring.
I know, I'm sorry. No, I like Sonic 4 Episode 2 alright, I guess, but yeah, it just takes a long time to get through, especially those,
there's a boss fight that took about 10 minutes.
Especially, like, the Wing Fortress stage is just the worst.
It's funny with the, Shit, I was going to say something about Sonic 4 there. Oh, that was it. I have to say, like, I do kind of wish that they would move away from Green Hill Zone, because it's like like what we've had, Sonic Generations, Sonic 4, kind of like having their Green Hill Zone analogs.
To be fair, if they're gonna reference Sonic 1, Green Hill Zone is the only good level.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's just, well, no, I don't think it's the only good level. I think it's one of 4 good levels. But I think I just wish they would kind of like stop nostalgia baiting like that. I think.
Shay, can I try to guess the 4 good levels?
Yes.
All right, let's see. I would go with Green Hill, obviously.
Yes.
Spring Yard.
Marble Zone, Labyrinth Zone, and
Is Spring Yard one?
Absolutely, Spring Yard's one.
Right,
Spring
right.
Yard's the best.
And Starlight, of course.
Of course.
And the last one would be Scrap Brain.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I that's what I'd pick as my 4 favorite too.
honestly, if I was to pick another level from Sonic 1 that wasn't Green Hill, honestly, I would probably pick Labyrinth Zone.
I like Labyrinth Zone a lot more than most people seem to. I don't mind it so much.
I like the setting. Like, I mean, I know the underwater ruins thing has been done to death, but I don't know. I just like the look of that level.
I can't stand the Labyrinth Zone because David Bowie killed my dad.
I also like the music.
Shay, as far as what you were saying though about like always referencing Green Hill Zone, like it's kind of what the trope of that would be. First installment wins, like everybody knows Green Hill Zone. You know, Green Hill Zone is so closely associated, and I agree with you though that it is a problem. It's the same thing as like in Super Smash Brothers. Like every single Donkey Kong stage that's ever been in that game is a jungle, and there's a lot more archetypes that you could pull from and do some really interesting things with, but it just never happens because I don't know, Sakurai doesn't play Donkey Kong games past the first level.
Well, I mean, sorry.
I was gonna say, I wonder if it's because they're afraid of using a level that another designer made for the games, and maybe there's some kind of copyright issue.
I'd really doubt it. I mean, when you create something for a video game, like, it's not like Yuji Naka owns anything about Sonic.
Yeah, no, it would be because Nintendo.
Other than every insinuation that he's the creator of Sonic, which is not true at all.
I mean, he's no Ken Penders.
He was kind of the I met Yuji Naka actually. Very nice man.
Oh yeah, I saw the pictures.
No, I'm sure he's a nice guy. It's just that.
Oh yeah, sorry, no. It's I believe he was the instigator. Like he did the programming first. I think of like that kind of basic physics engine, and then Naoto Oshima designed the character around it, I think.
Well, I think Naoto Oshima is really, like, it really comes down to Naka came up with the concept and the programming and the physics and shit. Yeah. Naoto Oshima made the style. Like,
he designed the characters and everything, yeah.
Like, everything you see in Sonic Mania, like, the whole style, like, Studiopolis and the music, that would not have been the case if not for Oshima's influence.
By the way, I think I just got another donation. Yes, Pudo ML just donated another $20, so thank you very much. I'll update the thing here in a second.
And there was the guy who... And there was the guy who designed all the levels. I forget his name.
Well, then you've also got the American lady who's sort of seen as Sonic's mom, who made him more like... Sonic was originally, like, shorter and cuter and had fangs and stuff.
Oh yeah, Scarlett Johansson.
Yeah.
And I remember...
I'm so bad at like pop culture that I almost just agreed with you.
I remember. Oh, Pudo ML is going to bed. Goodbye.
All right.
So
well,
thanks.
Well, God, thank you very much for everything.
Yeah, you've been very generous. Thank you so much. I think we should dedicate a minute of silence to Pudo ML. He's not dead, just going to bed.
Yeah, just pause the game.
Hands over hearts. Do you have
before you go, do you have anything else you'd like us to say, or any questions or anything like that? And again, thank you very much. You have been extremely generous.
You're my favorite Puto. Don't tell anyone else who said that, but
that's high praise. And now we have to wait for the stream. I'm just gonna keep going. It's awkward to sit here.
Yeah. It's yeah, no. I wish I could remember who was the other fella that did it. I'll look it up. I have this magical tool that I just got called the internet.
What?
You
oh yeah,
just
that's that America Online thing. I've heard about that.
That was it. Hirokazu Yasuhara.
Yeah, like his design levels are incredible. Like nothing fans have made even comes close to it. I don't know what happened.
I'll tell you what, Pudo ML, by the way, says that it'd be nice to see me beating the GBA version with all emeralds. Let me beat it. Let me beat it in general first, and then maybe I'll tackle that. let me see if it's even possible.
I believe that the level designer for Sonic 3 was actually Iizuka. Do it for Pudo.
I know Iizuka was involved in Sonic 3 in some way. Was he the level designer?
Yeah, he was one of the designers. It was Yoshida, Yasuhara, and Iizuka. I met Iizuka as well.
God.
Josh,
so much envy.
If you could design a Sonic game, a Sonic fan game, what would it be?
It would be Sonic Mania. I mean... oh, you mean if I designed it myself? I see what you're saying.
Well, I mean, if you did that, then it would just be crap, but...
If I designed a Sonic fan game, then it would be crap, because, like, I'm not... Oh, good, Keemstar is here.
Can you see the sun is shining on me?
I'm actually reading that in his voice now. I'm like, can you see the sun is shining on me?
Sound like William Shatner.
The only reason
Why does everyone still hate me? Why am I still getting hate? Sorry, I'll stop that.
The only reason I even know who Keemstar is because of Grade A Under A.
Makes me feel so free, so alive.
It makes me want to survive.
So here's a question, as far as Sonic goes. What was... I know everybody knows mine because I made a whole video about it. It's the Sonic 2 video. But, Ben, I guess we'll start with you. What was your first experience with Sonic?
Actually, I was gonna make a video about Sonic eventually, explaining that. But basically, I got into... I'm only 23, so I'm not as old as you guys. I didn't grow up with classic Sonic. By the time I got into Sonic, Adventure was out. So... I was about 5 years old. I love Shrek so much.
What?
Sorry, just controversial opinion. Shrek is the best Pixar movie.
That's very controversial, but I can't say I disagree.
No, but seriously,
yeah, I can't.
I was 5 years old, and I was at my grandparents' house, and my brother was 10 years older than me, so. He grew up in the 16-bit era, and he had a Sega Genesis. And in the back room was the playroom with all the toys and shit, but in the corner was a TV, like a really old TV, a really small TV, with a Genesis and Sonic 1 inside of it. And he had a bunch of Genesis games. He had Ghostbusters, Altered Beast, Golden Axe, Arrow the Acrobat. I like that one. That game sucked ass, but I liked it.
That's that era of like cartoon animal mascots.
But yeah, I plugged in Sonic 1 and I was just blown away. Like I had never seen so much color on screen before.
You know, that's really fascinating to me because, like you said, you are 23, and yet like the fact that the first game you played was Sonic 1 and that it still had that effect is really surprising to me.
No, yeah, like I mean, it was the first video game I ever played, so, you know.
Well, yeah, okay, you didn't have much to compare it to. That makes sense.
Yeah, but I mean, yeah, so I kind of grew up on 16-bit consoles, and to this day, I'm kind of a generation behind everybody else. So, it's kind of like that. And so, I played that game religiously. I remember I got to Marble Zone, and you know the part where the lava chases you?
Yes.
I got scared at that part, and I turned the game off.
So what I've had to do here, by the way, is switch to the 2008 release of Sonic 1 Megamix, because I can't get past the third level, because it just sort of ends and you fall and die. So no big deal there. I think there might be an issue with this level select screen, but we'll give it a try. I think it works.
But anyway, yeah, and believe it or not, every time we go to my grandparents' house, I would just go in and play Sonic 1 until I beat it. And I never got past Labyrinth Zone until much later, but I didn't know that other Sonic games existed for a long time because none of my friends... I kind of grew up in a poor community, so a lot of my friends didn't own video game systems.
Sure.
And my only experience with Sonic after that was seeing an ad for Shadow the Hedgehog in Nintendo Power.
Well, I mean that did it for you right there, I bet.
At the time, no, I didn't like it at the time because I saw it and I thought it was like a Lunatics Unleashed kind of thing where they were taking Sonic 1 or something and rebooting it to be darker and stupid.
Well, that's not completely wrong.
And I was 12, so that puts it in perspective.
Yeah, because, like...
I was the primary demographic for Shadow the Hedgehog when it came out, and even I thought it was stupid.
I remember being very suspicious of Shadow the Hedgehog, and then just kind of out of loyalty, I bought it on the day.
You bought it the day it came out. Oh, I didn't even do that.
Not quite the day it came out. Not that bad. I wasn't that bad. Well, I didn't have this.
I had the PS2 version, and I convinced myself that it was a good game.
Oh.
I couldn't even manage that. I got to, like, I completed it all the way through, and then just, like, the second I completed it, I remember having this, like, crystallizing moment where I turned to my friend and I was like... Because, like, I finished it, and then I gave a bottle of it to my friend, and then just, like, he came in the next day, and we're both looking at each other, and I was like, it's really bad, isn't it? And he's like, yeah.
I was a senior in high school. I'd just become a senior when Shadow the Hedgehog came out. And I remember there was this much younger friend of mine who was also a student there, because, like, my high school went, like, 8 to 12. 8th grade to 12th grade. So, I like how you can see Sonic sticking on the corner of the screen there. And he was, like, 13 or 14 years old, and he was like, Shadow the Hedgehog is so cool! And I'm like, no, it's fucking not!
Get back in the fucking corner.
I wanted to like that game so much because it combined Sonic with what I compared it to at the time was Jak 2, which was a great game, and it still is. But God,
you know, that's not
at that what?
I mean, that's not wrong. That's sort of like a lot of franchises were trying to do that stuff at the time.
Yeah, but I mean, basically, like at that moment, that was when I started my cringy age of what every 12-year-old Sonic fan did back in the day, which was go on Sonic forums and roleplay and support Son Amy.
Well, I mean, Son Amy is the OTP. No, I don't know. Like, Shadow the Hedgehog sort of came out during a time that I can sort of retroactively look back on now and sort of see as like it's like video games were going through adolescence. Socially speaking, and like everybody was really, really worried about being seen as being like, oh, you don't want to play the GameCube, that's gay and shit like that.
Yeah. Well, I think it was during a time when gaming was starting to become more mainstream and not just for boys in bedrooms.
Yes.
Yeah. So you also had like it became more of an entertainment machine, a toy.
And to that effect, it was like games were very hesitant there for a while, like in their quest to like prove that they are not for kids, and they're not like gamers were like. A good example is just to look at the whole Zelda the Wind Waker controversy that happened at the time.
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah,
like and when you like the games were not to be seen as kiddie, and they went and it's like people tried to go very far in the other direction in order to avoid that stigma.
And Twilight Princess was a good game, but.
Well, yeah, I mean, Twilight Princess was... Yeah, the thing is, Twilight Princess is like... Every time someone says Twilight Princess is bad, I'm like, kind of, what are your standards like? It's not, like, the best Zelda, sure, because it's kind of unmemorable, but holy shit, it's, you know... It's a well-put-together game.
But, I mean, both Wind Waker and Twilight Princess are some of the only games to ever make me cry, so... That's gotta count for something.
I liked Twilight Princess more than I liked Skyward Sword anyway, but I'm not a huge Zelda fan either way.
Skyward Sword sucked ass.
Twilight Princess made me cry because I accidentally threw the Wii remote against my foot.
But no, what were we talking about? Oh yes, Shadow the Hedgehog.
It's bad.
It's a bad game, but you know what? I can see points in the game where if they put more time and energy into it, it could have been a good game.
But it's so at odds with him. Like, the two things about Shadow the Hedgehog is, number one, it's kind of this constant Sonic thing of, despite like trying to remain contemporary, ironically he's always kind of one step behind.
By the way, there it is. Stealth.
Simon, why?
Oh yeah. I've never seen that before. But like the thing is like Sonic is kind of usually one step behind because he kind of like that whole like dark and realistic thing kind of like started in like 2002, 2003 with like the whole like alright, Zelda Wind Waker, that's for kids, GameCube is gay and all this, you know.
Yeah.
And then Shadow kind of came along when everybody was growing out of that, and then just like kind of slap bang in between like the two peaks of the dark shooter genre being popular. So it completely failed to capitalize in the zeitgeist. It was so badly timed, but yeah.
Somebody said Indigo Rush said that Shadow couldn't have been salvaged. Like, of course, like pretty much anything could be good if it's done well and it's done right, but it still wouldn't have been. Like, the tone would have just been all wrong on it, even if it was a fun game. Yeah, it could have been a fun game.
I believe it. I can believe you could make Shadow a dark and compelling game without making it dark. And
yeah, no, absolutely. You can tell like a mature story with the Sonic the Hedgehog. Well, give me a second. I'm trying to find the right way to phrase it.
Maybe sophisticated's a better word.
Yeah, and if Ian Flynn is writing Sonic 2017, I think that's what we're gonna get. But here's what my defense of Shadow the Hedgehog: the level Gun Fortress. If you do the dark mission on that, at that point your Shadow is just completely irredeemable. He's taking the pure dark path, and if you do the dark mission on that level, you are almost constantly in dark mode, where you're invincible and you have infinite ammo. You're wielding a giant Gatling gun that you get from one of those robots, and you're taking down some of the strongest enemies in the game in seconds. And Shadow is irredeemable, and but he's extremely powerful at this point. He's become a tyrant, and that's reflected in the gameplay.
You know, come to think of it, I don't think I ever actually finished Shadow the Hedgehog. I know I got pretty far in it, but I will probably be playing it on these streams at some point.
Well, I mean, it's for me. It's just like right. The major problem with Shadow the Hedgehog for me is it's a game about running quickly with a control scheme that requires you to stop to shoot
and stop and collect things.
Yeah, it's completely at odds with itself, and to me, like that. To me, like, you're describing Shadow as a tyrant there and everything, and to me that is tonally inconsistent. I see what you're saying. I see absolutely what you're saying. Like, it's the reflected in the gameplay.
Well, he's the Vegeta to Sonic's Goku.
Yeah, but like, I think it has to be remembered that he's a. I was about to swear there, but then I thought that might actually make me sound more angry than I am about this.
That damn fourth emerald.
I think it has to be remembered that he's a hedgehog. Every time I can't stop going back to that. It's just every time Sonic takes itself too seriously, I'm like, have you seen a hedgehog? They're adorable.
If you swear,
my dog saw a hedgehog once and she started licking it.
If you swear in reference to Shadow the Hedgehog, then I think you have to over-extenuate your swear. Like, the fucking hedgehog.
Every time that argument comes up that Sonic can't be taken seriously, I just think Ratchet and Clank has taken itself seriously plenty of times, and the main character is a furry. So
yeah, and for that matter, you've got stuff.
People's defense of that was like, well, Ratchet and Clank is a good game. Like, that's changing the subject.
Yeah,
no, absolutely. I'm not saying Sonic, but the thing is, there's never been a point in Ratchet and Clank where a character has gone, "Where's that damn, I don't know, quadrillion diamond or whatever."
I do agree that there should be more comedy relief. Like, it shouldn't take itself too seriously, but there's nothing wrong with having serious moments.
No, I agree with your point, actually, Ben.
Absolutely, yeah. There's a huge difference to me between taking taking a story seriously and making the story serious. If you see what I mean, there's like a huge difference between making the game grimdark and making the game dramatic.
Yes.
Because like the thing I always go back to is like the old Sonic the Comics with like the Perfect Chaos Saga, which was pretty dark, but it never got inappropriate for a children's comic.
Yeah, and then the equivalent to that for me would be like the Saturday morning Sonic cartoon, which was, you know, the story took itself seriously, but Sonic never felt out of character in it.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
and the same thing could be said about a lot of Ian Flynn's run on the Sonic comics. But then again, there are a lot of moments where the grim darkness shines through. Like, there's one part in the Sonic comics that's kind of cringeworthy, where Sonic just loses it and pins Silver down and just yells in his face. Like,
Oh yeah, is that when Antoine's in the hospital?
yeah.
Indigo Rush is pointing out that I'm underwater with the sky in the background. Yes.
That makes sense.
Clearly didn't think it through. 2 out of 10.
Oh god,
Pish.
there it is. The level select screwing up now.
Dark Lord Taco says, "I raise you, Ninja Turtles." That's a good. Yeah, that's what I was talking about before. Like, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. You can't take that concept serious. Oh.
Yeah, the level select was screwing up. I just went ahead and restarted. I'm just playing level by
exactly.
level anyway.
The thing is that like, but I'm not the biggest fan of the Ninja Turtles myself, but it's
By the way, I
like,
did I did Act 1 of that level just now, right? Maybe somebody
think so,
remembers. Hi, Bright Spark.
is here, by the way.
but
Anyway,
there's 2 things. Number 1 is originally the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles were actually a satire of that very thing. They were a satire of the proliferation of anthropomorphic animals in the media, and also a spoof of Frank Miller's run on Daredevil at the time.
well, I mean, you can't really spoof a trope when you're doing the exact same trope, like, verbatim. So that's why people take it seriously. And
I think
if it was
I'm
supposed to-
talking about the original Eastman and Laird comics.
right, I'm talking about that. Like,
Yeah.
only the first issue is a spoof. The rest of it is taken seriously, like it actually tells a story. And I think the problem with that is, if they wanted to make it a spoof, they shouldn't have made it as good a story as it was.
I think there's I don't think there's quite so much a delineation between a spoof and a good story.
Well, it's kind of hard to say because, like, I don't know if anybody remembers, a couple years ago there was a Power Rangers fan film that was gratuitously dark for the sake of it. Like, the Black Ranger was hooked on cocaine, and the Blue Ranger, I think, committed suicide and shit like that. And the point of it was to sort of parody the way that Hollywood will take a very bright, very, like, cartoony franchise like that and make it grimdark in an attempt to be adult. But in the mainstream media, that subtext was completely missed, and a lot of like people were saying like, "Oh, look, somebody just made the Power Rangers that we've all wanted," and like that's not what the series is at all, though. That wouldn't be.
Yeah, like, if you have the power to make a fan film, if you're gonna do that, do it right. Like, you only get one chance.
No, I think it's an interesting thing that they're doing there. Like, actually say it, making the point that like,
Oh no,
why is this so dark?
I didn't mind the fan film itself at all. I just that didn't work out well.
Well,
For
I
me.
mean, I was kind of thinking of the Sonic fan film. The one where it was like, "Oh, this is what Sonic would look like if Hollywood was making it. I'm gonna pitch this to Sega." Like, no.
I remember that thing that had Jaleel White, who apparently doesn't remember how to do his Sonic voice.
No, what happened is that he did 2 takes of Sonic. One where he did the original voice to a T, and one where he sounded older. And they went with the latter take.
There you go.
He can still do regular classic Sonic.
Okay, I
but
didn't know
the director
that.
is just an asshole.
Yeah, apparently. Somebody mentions Fur Fighters, but yeah, like you say, Fur Fighters was originally contextualized around that. I think the thing that people worry about with Sonic, in terms of like telling a serious story, is that it's going to be gratuitous and grim, dark, and ridiculous, and more in line with what like 06 did. Where you have like Sonic getting killed, and it's trying to be serious. It's just campy is the problem with it. As opposed to something like Sonic the Comic or the Saturday morning cartoon, or like there have been examples, and you could do it right. I think people just don't have any confidence in Sonic Team to do it right.
Yeah, like I remember Johnny's review of Sonic 06. He got to the part where he talked about Sonic dying. He just turned to the camera and he went, "Sonic dies."
Yep.
It's so like no, absolutely, because it's because you can like you've got stuff like what was it, Watership Down, Animals of Farthingwood, and everything, which were pretty violent. And stuff.
I loved that book when I was a kid.
But they're consistent with that. It's not necessarily the animal thing. It's just you have this, and this is like flipping Technicolor 90s fever dream cartoon animal. You know, it's adorable. It's amazing. I love it. And then I don't think that is consistent. I don't think Naoto Oshima's really cartoony, expressive character design is consistent with like a 12-year-old girl getting murdered.
Yes.
Yeah, well, I think you can take that seriously. I mean, the Sonic OVA, which was directed by him...
I was just going to bring that up too, yeah.
As cheesy as it was, it did have some serious shit in it.
Yeah, exactly. No, the Sonic OVA is the perfect example because it was like, and I love that movie. It's great. It's like the bit where Metal Sonic dies is poignant, and it's like, I'm not saying you can't have death. I'm not saying you can't have. What I'm saying is you don't have a 12-year-old girl get shot in the head as part of a government conspiracy. That's totally inconsistent.
Yeah, like, and I think there's something to a tonal inconsistency because. If there's one thing I've learned from Metal Gear Solid, it's that having a campy story only makes the more powerful and dramatic moments that much more emotional.
Yeah, I love Metal Gear Solid.
I'm
Metal
stuck,
Solid?
by the way. S-Jinx02 says, if they remade Sonic 06 for modern consoles with better physics and graphics, do you think it would be better received?
No.
Well, technically, I suppose it would be better, but I think the general reaction would be, why the fuck are they doing this?
Yeah, like
I think,
like, why are they bothering?
I think we just need to let Sonic 06 go. I think it's just like...
Yeah, the reputation has gone way too far to salvage anything from this. Like, even the Sonic Twitter makes fun of it. You can't salvage something after that.
And that's fine. I don't think it should be. I think it's good that the game had the good sense to wipe itself out of continuity at the end.
You know, my headcanon is that they added that very late in development when they're like, you know, this game sucks. Let's just pretend it never happened.
I honestly wouldn't even be surprised. I do remember people saying
while Josh suffers death by wall.
Indeed.
Metal Gear.
I like Metal Gear Solid. I like that bit where you shoot the gun, but then you don't shoot the gun because otherwise a guy will see you.
Metal Gear.
I like the bit where you shoot the gun and then your mentor dies.
Oh wow, Josh, that got dark very quickly. Did the water just disappear?
Yep.
Yeah, the water just disappeared.
Oh,
wait, are we still playing the 2008 version?
I've switched to the 2008 version, yeah.
Huh. Okay, I guess I never really did play the 2011 version.
Well, the 2011 version ended when I got to the 3rd level, and, like, I couldn't go any further. Because the level just ended and I fell in a bottomless pit. Classic Sonic 412 just said my favorite line from the OVA.
You might know everything I'm going to do, but that's not going to help you, since I know everything you're going to do. Strange, isn't it?
I don't remember.
See, everyone takes the piss out of that line, but it's actually a really good line.
No, I love that line. Like, I love it unironically.
Why is it such a good line?
Because it's iconic, because it is fitting in with the very cheesy kind of superheroics of that movie, and then he's kind of sitting there going, you know, everyone remembers it is the main thing.
Yeah, like, I remember when I was first watching it, when Sonic said that, like, it sort of just highlighted how absurd and wonderful all of this was.
Yeah, it's like, I have no problem with effervescent imagination. It's just, like, even if it does make it cheesy, Sonic is always cheesy.
For me, it's because it represents Sonic's character so well.
Yeah.
Like, that's just something that classic Sonic would say. Because he wants to, like, he acts like he's a dramatic movie hero, and he's trying to come up with a serious line, but he can't, so that's what comes out of his mouth.
Well, that's a fantastic reading, yeah.
Yeah, you know what, that's great, because it's like... Because he is. He's a bit. It's the same thing that happens in the game when he sits there with his wee cross face, and then he's like running quickly, and then he takes a hit, and he just like his eyes go wide, and he looks surprised, and he shits himself a wee bit.
I don't remember that happening. There we go.
Also, Eggman and the princess having babies. That happened.
What's that?
Eggman and the princess having babies. That happened.
Yeah, that was weird.
Yep, that was a one-frame bonus. So Shay, then how did you come to find Sonic the Hedgehog?
It was through this website called www.rule34.pahil.net.
Right.
How did you find Sonic?
Well, initially I was looking for Super Mario. No, okay, let's stop with that joke. It was when I were a kid, when I was a lad.
When I was a wee lad.
When you were
young. When I was a nipper. When I was a Wayne. When I was a bairn.
You
when I
love
was a baby.
Shrek so much.
It was my great aunt bought me Sonic the Comic. The end.
Fair enough.
And that was it. And I read it and I said, "This is well good, like in it." And then I went to the shops and I saw Sonic 3D Blast in the shops, and I said, "Here, ma, going to get a Sonic 3D Blast from the shops." And she was like, "Aye, how no, man." And then I bought Sonic 3D Blast from the shops, and I said to my mum, "Ma, this is pish," and she was like, "Aye, haha, fucking wrecked, mate."
Well, this is a problem.
What'd you do?
I found another wall to get stuck in. I mean, I found another one of Dr. Robotnik's nefarious traps.
Dr. Robotnik's nefarious traps.
Man, he got me good that time.
Yeah, you got, man. You got, like, tricked.
Pranked! Got him!
It was Sonic that got trolled this time.
But yeah, no, I started collecting old UK Sonic the Comic, and I didn't even realise he was a computer game character, to be honest. Like, I knew nothing.
That's really interesting. Was that Starry Night 1? I think that was Starry Night 1.
And then I went into the shops and I found Sonic 3D Blast, and I shit myself inside out with excitement. And I bought it and I played it and I loved it. Just because it was Sonic, like, just because I was a kid and I wasn't very discerning at that point.
Sure.
I remember I loved Sonic so much that I downloaded, or I bought Sonic. the entire Sonic comic collection. I bought that. I did that.
The American comics or the
American comics, and by the end of it, I think I lost several brain cells.
Oh yeah, man. Yeah. You get
it only went up to issue 202 at the time.
To be fair, that's you got 42 issues of good stuff.
I stopped reading the Sonic comic around the time that he became Modern Sonic. Was like, I remember the Adventure arc, and I think I stopped picking it up regularly shortly after that.
That's where it stopped, isn't it?
That's where the UK version of it stopped.
Oh right, okay, sorry. Are you talking?
But no, the American version still runs now.
Yeah, it's much better now than it was back then. Believe me.
Yeah.
Destiny.
That's what I'm saying though. Like, wasn't if you got to issue 202 of the American comic, didn't Ian Flynn come in at issue 160 if I remember rightly?
Yeah, right around then.
Yeah, but they were still going off. They were still going off of everything Kim Penders came up with, which was about 90% of the lore, and none of it was very interesting. Like, you know, like Kim Penders wrote some of the characters so badly that the only thing Ian Flynn could do was make them irredeemable and make them being an asshole part of their character.
I remember that he had to actually, like, completely, like, didn't he, like, Charmy B get tortured or something, and then he became mental?
I remember hearing about that.
Yeah, that was fucked up. Like, basically, like, Charmy was originally, like, a competent character, but then Sega said he needed to be more like the Sonic Heroes version. So, what Ian did was he made Charmy retarded.
Oh dear.
Nice.
He gave, and every time they had a moment where Charmy said something stupid, they would just look like, yeah, buddy, yeah.
That's dark as fuck!
I know! Jeez!
Holy shit! Like, because in the UK, right, and I have to say, I think basically we have to take responsibility for that whole Charmy B being mental thing. Because back in the UK comics, like, basically writer Nigel Kitching was just like, you know what, I can't be fucked with this. So he just did whatever he wanted. So he, and since he was a fan of screwball comedies, he made Charmy B just got a complete dip. And so Charmy B was mental, and like he was like cutting about going like, oh dear, I diddled when I should have doed. And the joke was that everybody fucking hated Charmy B, including the character. There's a bit where Charmy B gets kidnapped, and Sonic's like, I'm just going to pretend I didn't see him.
Yeah, but that's the difference between writing him as comedy relief and writing him as pitiable.
Yeah, exactly. That's dark as anything. But then there's this amazing bit in the UK comics where like Charmy B gets hit with an insanity ray, which makes him even more insane, and so he's he comes up with the amazing plan to defeat the villain, which is to buy out his company.
Man,
so
I've never read it, but I believe I would freaking love the UK comic. Yeah, Robotnik's escaping, right? Now,
that's my favorite Sonic Witch.
I've seen a lot, like, I know a lot of things about the UK comic, kind of, and they had some really creative and really cool ideas. I think what always sticks with people is like what they did with Supersonic.
Oh yeah, I love that version of Supersonic. Just because I grew up with them, but.
So guys, speaking of Archie Sonic comics, you should totally subscribe to my channel.
I like this glitch too, by the way. Go ahead.
I'm doing a fan-dub of Archie Sonic, the Genesis arc, which was gonna be celebrate Sonic's 25th anniversary, but then Archie shit all over that by announcing, "Oh, we're actually adapting Sonic 1 again."
Sonic Mega Drive actually isn't an adaptation of Sonic 1.
No, not that. They're actually, the arc is called Genesis of a Hero, and it's going to be released this December, I think.
Hang on a fucking minute. Right, hang on. So, this year we have got, right, Classic Sonic Returns in Sonic Dash, Classic Sonic Returns in Sonic Mania, Classic Sonic Returns in Project Sonic 2017, Classic Sonic Returns fucking twice in Sonic Mega Drive and Sonic Genesis of a Hero.
So is he going to be in both Mega Drive and Genesis of a Hero then?
He's in Mega. Like I've got.
No, I know he's in Mega Drive. I know he's in Mega Drive.
Why? Like, what is this? Why are we? Why? Like, at this point, he is appearing more than modern Sonic.
I mentioned this the last stream I was on, but it's kind of funny when you think back to 2011. We're like, no, we're only bringing Classic Sonic back for the anniversary. We're never bringing him back again after this.
I loved that they were like, in Sonic 4, they were all like, oh no, this is modern Sonic, this is the Sonic design now, we're not changing it to Classic. And then the very same year, they changed it to Classic for generations. They're like, no, yeah, okay, this is one time only, and then it's just like, fucking, let's go fucking mental, nah, Classic Sonic.
Well, I mean, this is a bit of a controversial opinion, I suppose, but like, if eventually Sonic was just Classic Sonic again, that would be fine by me, you know?
Well, actually, that would be fine by that too. And from a business perspective, that would actually be smart, because for today's media, the Classic Sonic design works better than modern Sonic.
Like, the thing is, and I have to say, like, I know this is the stereotypical fucking pathetic Sonic thing to moan about, right?
Green eyes!
Green eyes? I actually genuinely think the black eyes work better because, like, they don't interfere with what is a very stark color scheme. Look, I'm not saying, like, you fucking hate modern Sonic, fuck off modern Sonic, but I'm just...
Like people genuinely think that black eyes looks better. Green eyes is basically just a cover for, you know, Sonic Retro having really petty opinions about Sonic.
Yeah, but I do hate when it gets, like, when it gets sort of boggled down to that, as if it is just like I've seen like mainstream media saying, "Oh, Sonic fans are freaking out about Sonic's eye color." There's more to it than that. There's more nuance to the argument than that, I think.
Well, I mean, when Chris Chan starts arguing about blue arms, it's kind of hard not to...
Yeah! Okay.
I can see why that is, like, especially with some of the kind of more histrionic entitlement that some fans of everything, not just Sonic fans. Can I just say, actually, every time somebody's sitting there, and Vice wrote an article on this, everyone's all like, oh yeah, Sonic fans are fucking mental, Sonic fans are ridiculous, and they're like, you know, they're you know, you don't want to deal with Sonic fans ever. And I'm kind of sitting there thinking to myself, I have only ever had really lovely interactions with Sonic fans, like including...
I know, like Jimquisition, like every time he talks about Sonic fans, he makes them out to be the most embarrassing fandom in the world. And other than Chris Chan,
it's not just Chris Chan. I mean, you can take pretty much any sizable fandom of any group, and you'll find some ridiculous things to make fun of about it. But
yeah, but I mean, the thing is, like, Sonic fans don't make death threats to Sega for anything
most of the time.
Well, I've never seen that. Well, meanwhile, you got No Man's Sky, which...
Oh god, yeah.
I think it's like... just... Oh god, no, you can't go that way. I think it's just that, like, Sonic combines a lot of acceptable targets. Like, you know, you can't make fun of, like,
yeah, without
of like LGBT stuff. You can't make fun of... There's a lot of stuff on the internet that you can't make fun of, or you'll get, like, called out on it. But generally, it's still seen as okay to make fun of, like, furries. And, of course, the Sonic fandom contains some of that.
Well, I was gonna say something about autism, but
oh yeah, no, that's very common too.
That's the stereotype, isn't it? That, like, oh, Sonic fans are autistic, and that winds me up something awful.
Right. I want to put this out there. There's nothing wrong with being autistic. Well, I mean,
right? Exactly. It's just, don't be a dickhead. It's just like, for fuck's sake, you don't like do that. Unless you are an edgy 4chan wanker trying to get a rise. Don't bloody say...
Like, if you, like, okay, like, I don't blame anybody if they have a condition like that and they find comfort in Sonic. I mean, I've seen that, and I understand it. But when when there's so much of it, and the franchise is so popular with kids at the same time, it's hard to not paint that picture of the community.
Exactly, and it's like the amount of like. The thing is that autism is a mental condition. Is it? Yeah, no, it's a mental condition, you know, and it's not like,
But it gets painted like anybody, like it's just used as like a derisive comment, you know?
Yeah, like
exactly, and it's just kind of like, mate, just fucking sit down.
Yeah, like people get called autistic just for them being kind of an asshole, which is not fair.
But people
or like you know, like, oh, you care too much about this thing that I don't care about, you must be autistic. That's sort of how I see it.
It's just wide. It's just no right. It's just stop it.
Stop it.
That's the long and the short of it. Just stop it. Just stop being a dick. Don't, like...
You know...
There's a lot of things I will accept, like, folk taking the piss out of. You know, if somebody takes the piss out of, like, Sonic fans in general, I'm like, yeah, okay, we can be fairly ridiculous sometimes. We're, like, super passionate about a stupid bloody cartoon hedgehog. Fair enough. But just... The autistic comments, just, like, it's unnecessary. Just... Come on.
You know, though, I feel like in the past... this is sort of something that I've really only come to... in the past year, because like stuff like that used to really get to me. Like when I'd see people acting that way online, and I'd kind of get a little bit wound up about it, and I'd say, man, how can you like, even though it's online, even though it's anonymous or whatever, I never saw it like that. I never like felt like because I was anonymous, I never saw other people that I interacted with online as like being less than like subhuman or anything like that. Like like I couldn't treat people like that.
Yeah.
And so it used to really wind me up when I would see that. I think in the past year or so, what I've sort of come to start doing is when I see that happening, I just sort of assume that that person is like an edgy 14-year-old and they'll grow out of it. And even if they're not, that's what they have, like, sort of the attitude of. That's the that's the position that they're coming to it with. And I really shouldn't let it bother me that people are like that.
You shouldn't let it get to you. You're just going to creep.
Exactly.
And I really want to believe that Sonic fans are just genuinely nice people and they genuinely care, and that's true for most people. But then I look at the 25th anniversary party, and people screaming into the microphone when Johnny hands them the mic.
Oh yeah, but no, listen. The thing is, I was there like at that not at the Sonic 25th anniversary, but I was at the Crush 40 concert at Summer of Sonic. I was at Summer of Sonic, by the way. I don't know if I've mentioned, but
Indeed.
it was but like Johnny, like the thing is that see when you're actually there with them in front of you, it's difficult not to get into it. And sure, the guy. I mean, the guy fucking geared at Laldo, like, he went a bit too far with that. But, I mean, he was having fun, and I find it difficult to deride people. Also, sorry, Josh.
Yes.
That's a really good way of looking at it, just like the 14-year-old thing. Because I suppose autistic is like the new gay, now that we've realised that gay is no longer
that's kind of what I've noticed, yeah.
You know what's kind of sad? Going back to the Sonic Summer of Sonic thing, it's kind of sad how Crush 40 is slowly losing relevance in the community.
Well, when was the last time they did a cover of Sonic Boom for around the time of Generations, and I don't remember
2009 was the last time they did any music for a Sonic game.
Yeah,
that was Sonic and the Black Knight. And
I love that song, by the way.
I get that,
the Sonic and the Black Knight theme song is fantastic.
But nobody was singing along to the lyrics when at the 25th anniversary party. Like, nobody was singing along. Like, how do you not know the lyrics to Live and Learn? I'm sorry.
Like, the thing is, everyone's singing along. It's just that the mic doesn't pick
it
up.
That's what I heard too.
No, Johnny actually got on the floor and went straight up to a fan and put the mic in his face, and he didn't do anything.
No, I know, I saw that too, but I heard that that mic just who was I think Skylar, who was actually at the event. He was the host with their Tostitos rolls, and he said that the way that they finally solved the sound issues was just to take off the live mics. Like they actually were saying things there.
I don't know, that sucks, but
Anyway, I'm booting back up to Nox because
just what yeah.
Yeah, no, it does sound super awkward when you're listening to it on the stream because it is just like. But yeah, no, when you're in person, there's a great atmosphere. The thing is, again, I think Crush 40, unfortunately, are kind of a kind of relic of that age, of that more innocent age when Sonic was like a rock.
Yeah, and rock is kind of dead as a genre. Like, now we have Cash and Bentley Jones, and I love Bentley Jones, like, so much. Like, he's great.
By the way, guys, we need to stop the stream for a second, switch things around. Ben, I'm probably gonna get somebody else on if that's okay with you, if you don't mind.
Okay. Well, I don't think anybody else was asking to be on.
I think Dustin did. I know some other people are. If nobody else wants on, if you guys are fine with sticking with Ben, I'm fine with that too. Like, I just don't want to get too many people on the call all at once.
Well, I kind of wanted to finish what we were talking about still.
Yeah, go ahead.
So,
get this booted back up anyway.
Rock is kind of dead as a genre among the Sonic fans because now it's all about techno and electronica and Cash is kind of hit and miss for me. I like the remixes more than their original stuff. But Bentley Jones, I think, needs to do more music for the franchise. Basically, I think everyone makes fun of Crush 40. Like, they like the Crush 40 songs, but they don't like them legitimately. They just like them for the cheese factor.
No, man, I legit like Crush 40. Like, that's the same sort of like Power Rangers music that that I grew up with. So that's
well, people like the Game Grumps when they're talking about Sonic. They're like, yeah, butt rock. Like, you know, that's kind of insulting. Like, to call what the genre butt rock. I mean, that may be what it is, but that's not what was really intended. So clearly, you don't actually respect it as the actual music itself.
The thing, like, I found my life has gotten like 100% less stressful when I stopped taking Aaron's opinions on Sonic seriously. Because like, I don't think he's really thinking of it like that. I think he's just like basically like, how can I make a joke out of this? And when you're putting out like over half an hour of content every day,
well, it's not just
he's not a Sonic fan, and that's fine. I mean, it's not for everybody.
Which is so weird because the Twitter's like completely all over him.
Well, that's because he has such a big fan base, you know, and that's...
Yeah.
I was just using Game Grumps as an example. I've seen that a lot among a lot of Sonic so-called fans. It's not just the Grumps that do it.
No, well, yeah. The thing is, and SKM Pauji was hitting on this earlier. He was asking why classic Sonic would be better for modern media. It's the thing is that. Sorry, I'm gonna go into fucking like.
Hey, Shay, before you get on that, can I go and like switch the games and switch the streams around? Because I do definitely want to talk about this.
Sure.
All right, Dustin wants to replace me, so I guess I will go ahead and get ready for my college meeting. So
that sounds like the responsible thing to do. Ben, thank you for being on. It's been good having you.
Cheers, Ben.
You, Josh.
And I'm going to go ahead and stop streaming for now, and I'll be back in like 5 minutes at the most. Once again, unless we die.
Goodbye.